Wait, hold on. There is more information to be shared with you right now, and it involves a 10x event that is launching as part of this Guaranteed Champion event that we already talked about. So why didn't we announce this one at first? Well, we got the information just now. So a 10x event will be launching not just with epics, because the guaranteed event seemed like it wasn't that much and players were not going to be touching their shards. From my initial review for that video, that's what I said, that I was not going to be pulling my shards for that for that guaranteed event. But now that legendaries are involved, I'm talking about a 10x for legendaries, especially if these are legendaries that you've been aiming for, that you've been looking for, especially if you're this close to your PT and you've been counting the shards and you're just holding on for that right time to pull. This is now if you want any of this champion. The first one is from the Undead faction and is one champion that I do not have on my account. Well, this is the Noob to Pro. It's Martial Art. This is the King of Fear, high damage dealing champion, PvP champion, even great also in PvE content, and is best known right here for placing fear, right? Where is it? Where is it? This one. No, where is it? I think it's this one. I do not know what this champion does, but that's it. The A2 places a 30% increased speed and increased crit damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. That's a buff for everybody. And then places a true fear, not just a fear, a true fear that will make you lose your turn if the fear gets you. It's a 50% chance of proccing though. And a leech debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. 2-turn through fear is crazy good on a 3-turn cooldown. That means once he uses it, you lose your fear, you lose your turn for 2 turns, right? You probably, this skill will be back up again for him to use it. Once this champion goes in the arena, it's over for you. And let's except you get really lucky and you get your skill off. That's what I know about Martial Art. I do not own him on the account. So will I be pulling my shards for this champion as part of a 10x? I'll let you know at the end of the video. All right, that's Martial Art is coming in. That's what I know him for. On the A1, it's also important that you know that this champion can heal by 30% of the damage inflicted, which is a lot. So he goes back to full HP and he places a bunch of heals, right? Yeah, that's it. Continuous heal, places 2 continuous heal buff on this champion for 3 turns. Continuous heals for 3 turns. Wow. On a 3-turn cooldown also, damage increases by 50% against targets that have no buffs. They probably have debuffs already on them with fear and all that. So this champion is a high damage dealing champion and he's great for PvP and PvE. I can't wait to finally get him on the account. He's one champion that I will build immediately if I get him. All right. I don't see him in high-end arena though. That's not it. I don't see him in high-end content, probably because people have cleanse, people have Mitrala of dealing with things like that. So it's not that common in high-end arena, but for your mid-level, for endgame content, he's pretty good everywhere. Increases ally attack in dungeons by 34. See, he's great in dungeons. Just make sure the enemies don't take a turn. He just places that fear, and he's a great champion to own. All right, what's the next one that is available as part of the 10x? To obtain this champion, he will be available on the 8th. That is the first day that this the 10x launches or the CVC launches. He'll be available to be picked up from ancient shards and also from sacred shards. So that's the 2 ways you can get him, by pulling your shards if you're close to PT. Now remember, 10x does not mean you get this champion. You might end up pulling a legendary, it won't be him. You might end up pulling 2, 3, 4 legendaries and it might not even be him, because again, the pool is diluted and we need 20x, 30x before we can be guaranteed these champions like this. When we pull 2, 3 legendaries at least, we're supposed to get the one that is advertised. So I have to put that disclaimer all the time, because you cannot expect to pull legendaries and say that 10 times chance it will be a Martial Art. You probably will get something else entirely different even if you pull a lot of legendaries. So know that about 10x events, that are kind of a scam. I'll keep saying that until it goes to a 20 or 30x. All right, the next champion that is part of this 10x for the next day, which is the 9th of November. The next day, the 10x champion is part of the Night Revenant faction, right? Let me quickly see. Yes, he is. And which one is it going to be? It's going to be a Soulless, a Void. Because on the 9th of November, you are pulling shards for a Void epic, right? What's her name? The white Nia or something like that. You'll be pulling void shards to get her 30 void shards to get that guaranteed champion. So you might as well be pulling shards to get a Soulless also. A lot of people are hyping that champion up. I don't see the reason, but this is one that most people who want a Soulless, especially end game players, PvP arena competition Gold 5 Platinum Arena players will be going hard to try to get this one, especially if they're close to PT or if you have a lot of void shards saved up. Again, disclaimer, 2x void is coming up next weekend, so if you pull all your voids trying to get a soulless, you won't have any voids left to pull next weekend, especially if you're free to play in Raid Shadow Legends. So what does the soulless do? I know him right from the way I see him in content. He's also another champion I do not own on my account. I know him from seeing him in general content as a heavy damage dealing, defense-based champion. Defense-based, heavy damage dealing champion who also does the job of protecting the allies. He does have a provoke, that's what I know about him, and he's just a difficult champion to kill. On the A3 right there, attacks all enemies, increases duration of all debuffs on each target by 1 turn. I didn't know this about him. And then he places provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. 1 turn provoke is good. Then increases the duration of all their debuffs is also great. That means he's not the first to go in the team. Somebody else has to go in and place debuffs first before he can increase that duration of the debuffs. He also places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns, equal to 30% of the damage inflicted, which is a lot of damage, and AoE damage, then shield buff equivalent to that amount of damage that is inflicted is great. Damage increases by 10% for each debuff on the target. Hopefully they already have debuff on them before it goes in with this skill. What about the A2? So from the A1, from the A3, I can see it's just provoke. That's what I got from it. It's just provoke and shield on himself. Because when he's going to be provoking, the shield could help him stay alive a little bit longer. All right, on the A2, attacks 3 times at random. We don't like that. We don't like that. No. But that's what it has. Each hit has a 75% chance booked to 100% of removing all buffs. Now we like that. So even if it's going to be random, most of them will have buffs. So if you're going to remove 3 buffs, 3 champions, 3 enemy champions buff, it's still great, even if it's going to be random. Also places a provoke debuff for 1 turn if a buff was removed by this skill. So he removes the buffs before he places the provoke. But you still prefer the A3 provoke over the A2 provoke though. The provoke debuff cannot be resisted. Oh, now I see why this one is a little bit great. So this champion is all about provoke, defensive based champion. Where is the nuke? I think this one is the nuke, right? This should be the one that hits really hard that I've been seeing. All right, for the A1, he has a 35% chance of placing stun debuff, booked to a 50% chance of placing stun for 1 turn. That's a good A1, I guess. 50% of placing stun is great. It did not say it can be resisted though, so this will need accuracy to land. Increased defense in factions crypt. Ooh, that's too niche. I thought it's gonna be something like arena defense increase or something. The faction crypt, we don't like it. We don't like it. Nah, that's a useless aura as far as I'm concerned. Auras for faction crypt is usually useless in all other content. So Soulless, an awesome void legendary champion that has been in raid for a while. In PvP, he's a meta champion. A lot of people use him to just lock the enemies out or do this cleanse their debuff and place 3 champions in provoke. That is also great. So will I be pulling my shards for Soulless? Nah. Nah, I'm saving all my void shards for next weekend 2x event. But if you're an endgame player who has been chasing this champion for 2-3 years, this might be your chance to spend some of that, swipe that card and get him by your 4th legendary or your 3rd void legendary. Good luck to all of you pulling shards. This CVC, Soulless and Mashalad are 2 meh champion. They're well sought after, but they're not like the top tier top 3 champions in raid or anything like that. They're maybe top 5, maybe top 10, maybe, but they're not something that a lot of people will go crazy for. That's what I think. So let me know in the comments what you think about this one. Is the guaranteed champions now worth going for all of a sudden because they added legendary to the mix? Remember, Soulless is on Wednesday while Mashalad is on Tuesday once CVC launches. Let me know in the comments if you think it's worth pulling for right now. My verdict still remains no. I'm saving my shards for void legendary, void 2x. I'm also saving my shard for the next possibly the next fusion that will be coming up, or the next guaranteed champion event, or the next double legendary event. That's what I'm saving for, not this epic guaranteed champion events. All right guys, hit that like button for me in this video. Sorry we had to break this one into two separate videos. That's how the information came, so we had to give you as it came. All right guys, I'll see you this evening for a Noob to Pro update. Later.